Okay, my third session of day two of South by Southwest was kind of a last second addition. I had some time to spare and I was sort of searching through the schedule and found this really interesting thing called Immersive Nightmares. And this is Jack Yates, graduate student, Masters of Science in Marketing. And the name really caught my eye, Immersive Nightmares. What does that mean? Let's go and let's learn about it. So it was hosted by this organization called Creative NL. NL as letters, creative as the actual word, which is a Dutch company that's doing some pretty crazy stuff that I'll get into in a second. But it was a two-part session spread over different days. One was about sort of positive dreams, and one was about nightmares. And this was about nightmares. And it was really all about what they called immersive technology. And there's a quote I wrote down that the nightmare is immersive technology, which was interesting. But okay, and it began with an opening ceremony not an opening ceremony, excuse me, an opening talk, 15-minute talk, just about the organization itself. It's based in the Netherlands. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. And the first speaker was this woman whose name I'm probably going to say wrong, Eva Heijsbloem. She is the Director General for Digitization and the Public Sector of the Ministry of the Interior and Kingdom Relations for the nation of the Netherlands. And she gave a sort of 15-minute introduction about the ethics of what they are doing in the Netherlands in regards to immersive technology, which I promise I'll talk about, and that, that there's dangers and there's positives. She used virtual learning environments as an example, as in like virtual learning can be very positive. It can make learning and education accessible, but can also be dangerous to children in terms of non-consensual data harvesting, and privacy. They talked a lot about privacy during this. She said that AI and social media are major focuses for her, specifically, generally, of course, but they had a specific focus as well on children's rights. And she was sort of speaking on behalf of the government of the Netherlands, which was interesting. And she had this quote that I wrote down that was, "Technology must be used properly, and that the government in the Netherlands has an important role in digital transformation." She went on a little bit about this idea of digital transformation, that and it's kind of what it sounds like. The whole world is becoming digitalized. It's happening no matter what. And as we're on this path, we have to ensure that ethics are upheld to a certain extent. So after her introduction, which was about 15 minutes long, not her being introduced, but her sort of introducing the session, a gentleman came up whose name was Luke X. His name spelled L-U-U-K, last name E-X. And he was from another company based in the Netherlands, and I probably can pronounce wrong, called the Rathenau Institute, R-A-T-H-E-N-A-U Institute, Rathenau Institute. And he came on to actually talk about some of the capabilities of neurotechnology and immersive technology. Sorry, I'm getting really tongue twisted on this one. And he talked about how neurotech speaks to the imagination, how it sort of talks to what we're capable as humans. And at his institute, the Rathenau Institute, I'm just going to give up on even trying to say it, sorry. One of the things they were doing was they were putting people in fMRI machines, which is like an MRI but more intense, better scans the brain, I guess, for 12 hours straight. Didn't get to ask the question, how do they eat, drink, go to the bathroom? But they're, the MRI machine is the big thing where you lay on the table and there's like a big donut around your head, and there's a machine inside spinning that's scanning the inside of your skull. And they're combining this technology with AI systems. And what they're doing is, while people are in these fMRI machines, they're playing music. They're playing the same song for every person. And they're training AI databases on the brain scans that they're doing of people. And and what's happening is the AI is learning up to a 50% accuracy rate to be able to read the thoughts of the people that are in these fMRI machines, and not only read their thoughts, but differentiate their thoughts from the music that's playing based on brain scans. And if that sounds like science fiction, it's because it's science reality now. And I'm just going to repeat it again to make sure I understand too, that they're using AI models that can basically read your mind up to a 50% accuracy rate and differentiate words that you're thinking in your head with outside noises, which is why they were playing the music. And like, I mean, that's just crazy. And after he explained this, he sort of went into this whole thing about, neurotech isn't new. We've been doing this, measuring our brains for decades. You've probably seen the pictures of people with like shaved heads and the little suction cups all over their skull. He showed a picture of it on their slides. And he talked about advancements in neurotech that you can now easily measure people's brains with just like a simple like headband now. And I don't know, it was a use like he said that it's a form of technology that honestly makes me uncomfortable, because this idea of AI being able to quite literally read your mind, even if it's only 50% accurate, is just like scary. And he said that like this is happening outside of medical schools. This is happening in marketing and education. In fact, he even mentioned that there were 2 marketing agencies in the Netherlands that use neurotechnology to test products, as in they like hook you up to this machine. It's not one of the fMRIs that he's talking about, but they hook you up to one of these brain scan machines and show you. He didn't talk about what the products were, but like, I don't know, I'm making this up. A box of cereal and the labeling and everything, and these technology is measuring your brain waves on how you react to that box of cereal. And again, as someone who's in the Masters of Science and Marketing program, it's just like a whole new insane level of data collection that I can't even begin to imagine. Of course, in the 2 agencies that he gave examples of, there was consent, but this is where it gets really scary, is that in 2023, Apple successfully filed a patent for an AirPod, the little headphone things, Bluetooth headphones that can measure neural activity. And Apple, along with most other American tech companies, are not known for their data privacy laws. So that really freaked me out, because it's like, what if Apple started using their AirPods at some point? Again, they only got this patent 2 years ago, and he showed a picture of the patent. Like, I could see the patent itself. What if Apple could tap into your AirPods, here are mine, and measure your brain and how you were reacting to things, and use that in a marketing capacity? Maybe with your knowledge, maybe they'd sneak it into one of their 1 million-page, licensing agreements. And he sort of concluded on this quote, which I'll read, is that all neurotech is about finding mental states and then learning how to control them. He talked a little bit about meditation in that regard, but by this point, my mind was so blown. I kind of didn't pay much attention to the medical point, because A, he basically is working on a machine that can read your mind, and B, one of the most notoriously non-private tech companies in the world holds a patent for an earbud that can measure your brain waves and then presumably use that for marketing purposes, potentially without your consent, or like get your consent without you really knowing. You've read, the whole stereotype about the Apple licenses agreements that are purposely made way too long so that people don't read them. And it's just like a whole new level of like technological personal invasion that, is so futuristic and so sci-fi that I don't even think most people don't know about it. I can barely comprehend it. It was crazy to hear. But the ramifications for this could be huge in terms of data privacy. I mean, let's just say marketing analytics is probably about to reach a whole new level of crazy.